I am back. Rhodes Ranch for the Matrixx and Rhodes show. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, like, comment, share. Let me know what you think about this. So, Titanic director, also director of Avatar and the Terminator movies, the first two. He didn't direct the third one. James Cameron, of course, one of the biggest of all the Hollywood directors, has come out and made a rather startling, I guess, implication, startling reveal that he knew the Oceangate Titan had imploded days before it happened, including as early as sometime, I guess, on Monday. And he does not understand, and neither do a lot of us, and we've even found out that this has got a political component where Biden knew what was going on and did not want it released, having to do with his son and that news that came out. But evidently the Navy and a lot of people knew that this thing had imploded. Now, in case you're wondering what does implosion look like, let's just look at this video. This is what probably happened to the sub when it hit the pressure. It literally folds up on itself. It just crushes up. Right there. Okay? Now, yeah, that's another one that's been going around. That's another one that's been going around. Yeah. So, the thing about it is, now when this happens, I can tell you it's instantaneous. Essentially, these people had no idea they were gone. Okay, under that kind of pressure. But James Cameron is somebody that's very familiar because he himself has been down and he's seen the Titanic many times. And, you know, there's a lot going around about the fact that a lot of people knew that this was a potentially faulty design on this this sub that was going down there, this submersible as they call it. So let's get to this. New York Post. Titanic director James Cameron has slammed the days-long search operation for the doomed Titan sub as a, quote, nightmarish charade, insisting he knew the vessel had imploded just hours after it lost contact with the surface. I always thought that that was the most likely scenario myself. I was like, I don't know what banging they're hearing, but who knows? Now, I think it took on a bigger life because we found out there were a lot of ridiculous things about this submersible, like the fact that a game controller that you could buy on Amazon was actually controlling this thing. I mean, that in itself is absurd. We found out that the actual CEO may not have wanted to hire the most appropriate people to work for his company, making a comment about he didn't want 50-year-old white males with military experience working there. Well, what if they were the best folks? You know, that in itself is a problem. Cameron, a submersible pioneer who has made 33 trips of his own to the Titanic wreckage, told the BBC on Friday that he felt, quote, felt in my bones. The Titan submersible had been lost soon after the news broke that the 5 people on board were missing. The 68-year-old director said the subsequent hunt for the submersible, including the countdown of how much oxygen supply was left, and that the banging noise had been heard, quote, felt like a prolonged and nightmarish charade. Quote, that was just cruel. A slow turn of the screw for 4 days as far as I'm concerned, because I knew the truth on Monday morning. For me, there was no doubt. I knew that the sub was sitting exactly underneath its last known depth and position, and that's exactly where they found it. Following a multi-day search, the U.S. Coast Guard revealed Thursday that an implosion had killed all 5 passengers instantly on their descent to explore the 111-year-old remains of the Titanic. Search teams made the determination after the debris from the sub was located on the ocean floor near the wreckage. But Cameron said he knew instantly, quote, extreme catastrophic event had happened when he heard the submersible had lost navigation and communications less than 2 hours after setting off at 6 a.m. Sunday. I felt in my bones what had happened. For the sub's electronics to fail and its communication to fail and its tracking transponder to fail simultaneously, the sub's gone. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, something would have worked if it was just laying down there somewhere, or if they would have floated off. There would have been something. The famed director said he quickly reached out to his submersible contacts and was informed within an hour that the vessel was close to the bottom of the ocean floor when it lost contact. Quote, their comms were lost and navigation was lost. I said instantly, you can't lose comms and navigation together without an extreme catastrophic event or highly, highly energetic catastrophic event, he said. The first thing that popped into my mind was an implosion. Cameron said one of the saddest aspects of the deadly ordeal was how preventable it really was. We now have another wreck that is based on, unfortunately, the same principles of not heeding warnings. The passengers lost on the vessel, and it goes on to list everybody that was, of course, tragically lost. Now, he's got a ton of experience with this, obviously. 33 trips. And it makes a lot of sense what he is saying. For everything to fail all at once, then you know something catastrophic has happened. Far as the prolonged situation with the oxygen and the situation where we were, the bang noises and all that, this is where I have a problem, for example, with the mainstream media, okay? And really all media sources. This became one of those news events that spread over 4 days. And everybody was milking the crap out of this tragedy, right? That, again, pretty easy. They talked to him. 3 different things failed. And he said he knew by sometime Monday that it had to have imploded because nothing as a whole quits working all at the same time conveniently. In other words, you don't have that kind of coincidence without there being something catastrophic that happened on this submarine. So, especially hearing this from somebody that's got so much experience. So, it's crazy. I understand some of the fascination around the Titanic. It is interesting. I mean, I've headed down some rabbit holes involving the history of the Titanic since all of this started to get even some more background on everything that happened. There's some timelines as the Titanic, before it was hit, as it was hit, the various passengers, how the lifeboats, all the timeline on some people, the fact that a lot of the lifeboats, when the Titanic got hit and they started deploying, a lot of those lifeboats weren't even close to full. And now we're finding out this CEO may have cut some corners, and there were a lot of people that thought his design was a potentially faulty design. It's sad. It's a sad thing that's happened here. It truly is. You got some people that thought they were going on an expedition, and then it was over. It's crazy. Including some related to some that were on the Titanic. Wow. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Peace. I'm out.